Really exciting day on the Oak Street project. We're down here on our lower lot. We're gonna put 4 detached cottages in here, and we've got Super Steve from Lalo Pipeline loading out trucks. We just broke ground. It's a beautiful Saturday here. Some of the dirt we'll leave on site for backfill, but about 85% of it we've got to haul down the road. Got our friends from Canopy out here today taking out a couple of these oak trees that are dead and dying. We have about 40% death up in the canopy of this tree, and even worse down here on this lower 3-fingered oak. We never like to remove trees, especially large, mature native trees like this, but when they're dead and dying, we have to take them out. We're trying to do a solid for the neighbor. The guy across the street came over and said, hey, we would love that oak for firewood. So we're sending everything that we cut down that we can't chip, anything over about 14 inches, we're sending across the street to the neighbor. It took us almost 2 months to get through the tree committee and the advisory committee to the tree committee to get approval to take these trees out and then wait for the appeal period after the notice of decision. Something you have to plan for if you're in a municipality that takes great care of their tree plan. Make sure you know what you're doing and build that time and money into your overall plan. Up here on the street, this is our meter grouping. We have 4 different meter groupings where the city wanted to put our electric meters. From there, we're running that 2-inch conduit out to each home site. And what the city wants is an area where they can show up in one spot and read all the meters for infill housing. Not the easiest or most cost-effective way to do this, but we have to follow the standards. So we've got Eric and Dalton out here today, and what they're doing is they're building a metal frame rack to mount the all-in-one meter and breaker boxes out here on the roadway. One of the most expensive aspects of our site work is getting rid of all this dirt. So we're cutting out about 160 yards from these 4 pads. And we've got 2 trucks running all day long, and our dump site's like 15 minutes away. So each turn of the truck is about a half of an hour. So we figure half-hour turn time, 15-minute load time, we're about $200 to $250 a load to get it out of here and disposed of. We talk often of level lots. The more level the lot, the less cut, the less fill we're gonna have to haul off. Things to keep in mind when you're planning your infill development. Getting set up to start laying form boards. Pat's on site. He's got the laser set up. You can see this huge cut we're dealing with. It's about 3 or 4% grade. On the high side of the foundation pad, we're about 4.5 feet out of the ground. And then on the low side, it almost hits grade. So quite a bit more work. We need a little bit more engineering, a little more ingenuity, and a lot more retaining of earth to build on a sloped lot like this. We're gonna set the form boards, call for inspection. Normally we would do a footing and a stem wall in one pour. On these, because of the slope, we're gonna go with a beefier, thicker footing, and then we're gonna come back and pour the stem walls on top of the footings once they dry. It'll give us a little bit better product, and we can get it right on that way. We're going for it on our Oak Street infill development. We've got our footings in. Andy's here pumping all the concrete into these footings. This is our lower unit, the 2-2. Up here we have our 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit. Standard for a single-story building is 6 inches deep and 12 inches wide. And we went quite a bit bigger. These are 10 inches deep and they're gonna be 16 inches wide. Same amount of labor, just a little bit more concrete. We've got some runners on this one. Down below, you can see those big old 2x12 boxes. Those are foundation points for the deck that's gonna go out over the creek area there. Team effort, we've got the pump, we've got the truck, all kinds of stuff moving today. Morning after the pour, Pat and Rocky are stripping the footings here. We love seeing these big, thick, wide footings, even for a single-story building. Don't skimp out on your concrete. Whenever possible, we want to go for economy of scale. So we have this unit here and this unit, and as opposed to loading all the forms and stakes on the truck and going down the road to the next job, we're just sliding right over here. We're gonna form these up next. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath cottage here, ADU, and then a 2-bedroom, 2-bath over there. When possible, it's nice to have multiple units on the same site. 1 porta potty, 1 job card. Okay, here's some super secret concrete master stuff. We've been having these issues with hairline cracks on the stem walls where our bolts go in. And it's really hot right now. And I think the issue is having bolts that are too warm. So I've put ice on our bolts to cool off the steel, and hopefully that's gonna suck less moisture out of the concrete and reduce the hairline cracking that we get at each bolt during these hot weather pours. We're just stripping the forms now that we've got both of these foundations poured. We did them in 2 pours. We did the footings, and then we came back and we stacked the walls on top of those. Pete and Reese are here. They're putting down the green board. They're going to mount the hangers. They're gonna roll out the BCIs, our Boise Cascade engineered floor joists. After the joists are rolled out, we're gonna have to wait for a day or 2 for Advantage Plumbing and Mechanical to come over and do all of our underfloor plumbing. That'll get inspected. Once that's inspected, we're gonna cover it up with floor sheathing and we'll start building. Infill development is definitely taking shape. Got our first of multiple drops of lumber. This is our floor system. Should be familiar with this process by now, but if not, you can look back at one of our how-to build series. We're rolling out our foundation floor system now. We've got this pony wall right in the center, and then we have these Boise Cascade engineered I-joists that we're using for our floor. They're 10 inches deep. We're putting them 24 inches on center. It's an ornated strand board, and then there's a veneer lumber top and bottom. Getting that all laid out, and we'll wait for our plumbing. We'll get that inspected, and then we can sheet the floor and start building. We're doing 2 at a time here, and then these other 2 are gonna be getting formed up and poured in the next couple of days. So we'll have 4 projects coming out of the ground in the same spot. Here's an interesting detail you don't see every day. This is the crawl space access hatch in the bedroom closet that Reese is framing in right now. Randy in the boom truck from Ashland Lumber just showed up with our lumber package for our 2-bedroom, 2-bath ADU down by the creek, and he's stocking everything off to the side. When we're doing these infill developments, it's easy to forget about space or lack thereof and how we have no room to put anything. So Pete and Reese showed up today to direct traffic over here to help Junior place everything where it's gonna be easily distributed to the house that it goes with. Trying to build 4 houses at one time in one little area definitely takes some coordination. We're not getting it perfect. It's like massive imperfect action, but we're doing it. Nick came out yesterday from Advantage Plumbing and Mechanical and did all of our underfloor. We got it inspected, so now we can cover this up. I get a lot of questions about insulation. Why aren't you insulating your floor before you sheet it? We put our floor sheathing down first. We come back after the roof is on. We wait till we're dried in. We pay like another $1 a square foot to have AA insulation crawl the underfloor, but that way it doesn't ever get wet. So that's the standard we use. Good questions though. Thanks for staying engaged, folks. Officially putting lumber down today. Pete and Reese and Jacob are here. We're decking this floor. We're using an 1.1 floor sheathing. This is our favorite product for a subfloor. It's bomb-proof. It's like $75 a sheet, almost twice what we would pay for a 7/8 ornated strand board, but a way better product. We're really excited to be started. We're gonna build both of these at the same time and leapfrog over to the other 2 as soon as Pat is done with the footings. This is our subfloor sheathing product. This is a 9-ply tongue and groove 1.1 thick plywood that we use for our floor deck. This stuff is so strong. It's definitely worth the extra money. We pay about $75 a sheet for this. Busy job site today. Nail gun music, singing. Housing coming up out of the ground. All 4 of our new meter packs are in. The city wanted them up here on the street where they could inspect and read meters in the same spot. So that's where we are going to be drawing our power from, and all the underground down to all 4 units is already done. Little mistake here that we made, if you notice, we've got some sauna tubes full of bad concrete. The mixture on that round was not good, and when we went to bolt them in, the bolts pulled right out. So we had to dig it all up and do it again. Build failure into your plan. If you enjoyed this video, the best thank you you can give a YouTube creator is a like and a subscribe. Thanks for your time, folks.